You guys have been doing a lot of comments on my video. I love that. If you're able to, you guys, keep commenting. I love communicating with you. And through our communication, for the past few weeks, some of the things that I've noticed, or something that's common that you guys comment on, is two things. One is, where did I get this clock from? And the other is, this plant here is amazing. And some of you guys actually asked if I could provide a care video on this beautiful, robust Begonia Maculata. And so that's what this video is about. I'm pretty much just going to share with you guys my experience with her, what I've learned, and hopefully you can take those tips and apply it to your indoor jungle. By the way, my name is Pam, and this is my plant journey. Okay guys, so before I even get into how I care for this beautiful, huge beauty, I want to stress out to you in regards to begonias in general, not all begonias are suitable for every household. And I can say that firmly because I've tried a lot of different kinds that have not survived. And I have a very small collection of begonias in comparison to the other plant genuses that I do care for in my home. I think in total I may have maybe 5, maybe 6 begonias. I believe you may have seen it in the beginning of the video, all with the exception of one. If I'm able to put a clip, because I forgot, she's the only one that's not being grown in this sunroom. And so I'll probably put a clip somewhere right here just so you can see a quick pic view of her. Now, if I'm also able to, I've had this maculata for at least 4 years. If I am able to find a photo of when I first got her, I will provide you guys with a clip. It's so funny. The first year that I had her is the only time that she actually bloomed beautiful flowers for me. And ever since then, she has not bloomed thus far. And I'm not sure if that's because she's been focusing on just growing all this lushness that you guys see. And she's going to pretty much stay right here. I'm not going to move her. And in fact, I really can't, because she was becoming so top heavy. This girl is probably past my shoulder, so pretty soon she's going to be my height, if not taller. And because she was right here, she was leaning forward. And so my husband gave me a good idea to actually mount her. Y'all going to see how I have her mounted on the wall, and that's just to hold her upright, and that way I don't have to worry about coming in here one day and just finding her flat falling on the floor and potentially losing a lot of leaves or broken leaves. And so I do love this plant a lot, and so this is where she stays. So let's first jump into humidity. I know some begonias will wreak havoc on you if you do not have the humidity right, but for her, I'm finding that humidity is not a big deal for her. And I say that because the average humidity in this sunroom, believe it or not, and I'm looking at it right now, is at 47%. At the max, it may get up to maybe 51, 52%, give or take this indoor jungle environment that I have. But I've never had it any higher, go up any higher than that. And for some reason, she does not provide me with any crispiness of the leaves. The only time she provides me with crispiness of leaves is when she is not being watered accurately. And let's just jump into the watering. So there was a time in this Begonia Maculata lifespan with me that after I got her and she bloomed and she was doing good in the growing season, she took a little decline in the non-growing season where she dropped all her leaves. And I did not know what to do. I just did what I thought I would try to do to save her. And I cut her and started her completely over. I think I was able to save like the one vine with maybe literally 2 leaves, you guys. And I water propagated her. The good thing about begonias, of course, is that they do water propagations very quickly. And so that's what I did. I propagated it and grew a whole new root system and started her over from scratch. And I've just been continuously propagating her as she grew up with this one vine. My goal was to have something very bushy because it's such a beautiful plant. I did not want to I thought it would be scraggly looking if it was just one vine going up. And so I've done that multiple times throughout the year, and that's why she is also bushy as well. Also too, where I made the chop, they would do the two branching, and so she branch out very well with when you cut it back too. So I strongly recommend, if you want to encourage a lot of growth and bushiness, to definitely cut this beauty back. She's appreciated and she will reward you. As I mentioned before, the crispiness of the leaves only come to me in my care when I don't water her properly, and that is what was going on in the very beginning stages of me actually growing her. And so I decided to change her out of just a regular potting situation, and I put her in a self-watering pot. Ever since I've done that, it's made my care for her so easy. I don't have to be so timely with the watering, as long as I'm mindful to fill up the reservoir. And I want to share with you guys the actual mechanism that I use. This right here is actually the actual watering system that she is currently in. These came in a pack of 6 that I purchased off of Amazon. Now, albeit it is not very aesthetically pleasing, it really is not. I think it's hideous, but that's why I use my decorative baskets to just put her in, and that's kind of what I have her in, is a decorative basket, and that way you can't see any of this, and also the basket protects it from the algae and things forming, because it's blocking the light from it. And it comes with, like I said, just the bottom part, this, and then of course the wicking situation that you sit through. This is a 6-inch plant pot. She's been in this for at least 3 years. I don't even think I'm going to upsize her. Like, you know, the way she's growing, if it's not broke, why fix it, right? And so I will try to grow her up as tall as this pole will allow, but I think that's as far as I'm willing to have her grow, and I will just chop, and probably if I'm able to fit her down at the bottom, I can. But believe it or not, I'm looking at the bottom, the way the leaves hang down like they do kind of cover some of the bare stem parts where I did lose some of the lower leaves from forgetting to fill this reservoir. But ever since I put her in a self-watering pot situation, it is key. But another thing that I've learned as far as the self-watering pot, which is equally important, you have to be mindful of the soil. So the soil cannot be dense or lack of aeration when you're dealing with a self-watering pot. If I was to take her out of this situation and I put her like in a plastic pot, I probably would lessen the aeration. And what I mean by that is I probably wouldn't be so heavily with the perlite as well as the orchid bark. And that's what I kind of have her in a mix right now, is just your regular potting soil. I add extra perlite and I add extra orchid bark on purpose, because I wanted to find that sweet spot of balance between water. Because you want to keep in mind, especially with this, even though you may have a moisture loving plant, they don't want to be wet. They want to be moist. So moist is a little bit different than wet. Wet is when it's just sopping and it's soaking and it's just in it. Wet is like, I feel the water on my toes and I'm liking it. But maybe I don't want to have my feet in the water too long, or I'm going to start shriveling up. I don't know. That's just my perception of how I view it. And so because I'm adding the aeration, I'm not too afraid to make sure that this reservoir stays up to here, because there's no line on here, but I usually fill it up to here. And sometimes, you guys, which I think is also important in regards to just self-watering pots in general, I do think that it is healthy for your plant to not instantly fill it back up the moment it goes dry. I still say wait maybe a day or two before you pour some more water, because I think you do want to give your plants a certain amount of time to dry out. Even when it comes to the begonia, they like to stay moist, but if you keep constantly, I think, filling the reservoir up, the moistness is going to turn to wet, and that's when you're going to start having a lot of disaster. At least that's been my experience. So I just be mindful that when it goes down and there's no more water, to wait at least a day or two. And I try not to push it back any further than 2 days. I mean, you probably could push it in the non-growing season, but definitely because she's in this room and it can get quite warm in here, especially during the growing season, the summer months, I try to definitely not make sure that she's without water past 2 days. The last thing I want to talk about briefly, you guys, is light. Full disclosure, the only area in my home that this beautiful plant has been grown in has been no other area except for this sunroom. And I've had her in all 4 different corners of this room. When I first brought her, she was here underneath of this grow light. And I don't know if that's, now that I think about it, I don't know if this grow light played a part with her actually blooming, because that was the only time she actually bloomed, when she was actually over here. I had her across diagonally over here, and then I had her kind of like diagonally behind you guys. And I decided to bring her back here. I had her closer to the window during the non-growing season because I felt like light is a little bit more key for her. And so in the non-growing season, I would have her a little bit closer to the window. But because I know that the sun is so intense now in the summertime, I felt like it would scorch these beautiful leaves. And so I do move her back. And I would say it's about 8 feet away, because my sunroom is not that large. Say maybe 8 feet by 16 feet, give or take. She's back here, and I don't have her underneath the grow light because it would just disrupt everything else that I have going on over here. But she's here, and if you could see that it's not brightly lit, and she's still growing. She is growing. She, at best, like, I don't know, because this leaf right here, can y'all see that? It's pretty big. The leaves are a good size, so it's only small right here, and she is leaning forward, so she may be reaching for the light. Light is key. I say a medium to bright light, but definitely no direct light, no harsh light. And if you are going to have direct sunlight on her, she would prefer the morning gentle sunlight if it's going to be direct. And it would only have to be for a couple of hours. Anything past that and in the afternoon would definitely burn her. I don't think she likes that at all. She will also definitely have crispiness of the leaves. But she's a beautiful plant, and I love her. She's the oldest plant that I have in my small begonia collection. And the plants that I currently have in my begonia collection, you guys, I honestly feel grow well for me, except for the 2 that I have on the floor that you may have seen in the beginning of this video is newly acquired ones, so I really can't speak too much in depth about them. I just know that for the most part they're kind of like of an angel wing variety, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing great with this plant. I feel like I mastered growing her. And this one that's over here that you've seen earlier as well, I think she's doing well too. So will I get any more begonias? Probably not. I feel comfortable with the 5 that I have. I don't want to bombard my collection with a lot of water moisture plants. I feel like for me in my life and world, it would make my plant journey a little bit chaotic, and I feel like they would not survive in my care because I have a lot on my plate as it is. But yeah, that pretty much ends this care, you guys. Let me know if you too grow this plant. Rate it. Let me know if it's beginner friendly, medium, or experienced. I feel like it may not be a beginner friendly. Only after you understand moisture and balance of light, then you can go ahead and try your hand in this. Again, no 2 begonias is the same, and no 2 households are the same. So my way of care could possibly work in your environment, and your way of care could possibly work in my environment, but who knows? This is how I've grown her. She hasn't given me any problems. I don't have any problems with the leaves. She is like one of my favorite consistent, not hardy plants that I have in my collection. So I do, if you want something that's colorful, oh man, and just eye-catching, try your hand in that. She might surprise you. Or if you've had it and it failed, I recommend at least trying one more time just to see if it works out. And you gotta keep in mind, I almost lost her. Had I not propagated the 1 stem that I had, she would not have become this beautiful specimen that you see. And I'm glad that I did that, and I'm glad she wanted to live. So yeah, this ends this video, you guys. Comment, let me know what's going on in your world, in your begonia world, which begonias you grow very well in your environment. If you want to share with me what you do as far as your care tips, share with this plant community too, because multiple perspectives can really help a person through their own individual journey. Until then, you guys, have a blessed day. See you later. Bye.